What's going on, everyone? It's Brandon with your Coach of Fine Jewelry, Shore Personal Jeweler. Are you wearing a link chain and can't get it to lay right? Frustrated? Should you avoid ditch link chains, Miami's, Flat Curves, Mariners, all those good chains completely so that way you could sleep at night? In this video, I want to give you a quick tip to help you get your chain laying like it should. With that being said, let's get started. On my neck, I have my 5.5mm white gold flat curve that I have been wearing daily 24/7 for 16 years now. And guess what, guys? It does not hang straight. This is made in Italy. I feel like this is a very high quality chain, hence the reason why it's been on my neck for 16 years straight. And I love it. When I first got this chain, I knew very little about gold jewelry, and I would never think to line it up and make sure it hangs straight. This became a thing when Miami jewelers were hand making Miami Cuban links, flexing that they hang completely straight. That's what you should expect with heavier handmade chains that are made in lower volume, sure, but these are lighter chains, machine made at a high volume rate in Italy, so it's a little bit different. I'm not trying to justify it at all. I'm just explaining the difference between the two. And me personally, I love my chain. I wear it all the time. Now, a thing that will help you if you're in the same situation where you find you're kinking and twisting way too much, a quick tip I want to give you guys: make sure you're clasping it correctly. You take the lobster clasp, run it all the way down, and make sure the other end is straight. Now, if you're doing this alone, it might take some practice. It's one of those things where you're like, duh, but try it and see how that does for you. It will actually help your chain lay like it should on your neck. If you do it backwards, it'll twist, and I'll put a B-roll of me clasping it backwards, and it has so much twist. I try to flatten it out and get it to lay right, but it doesn't because it is twisted, and you'd be surprised how many people put their chains on backwards to where it is flipping and twisting. And this will happen with a Franco chain, no matter what item you're putting around your your wrist or your neck. If you don't clasp it right, it's gonna twist, causing more headache. Now, honestly, if I'm playing basketball, running around, my flat curve will offer a slight little twist because, like I said, it does not hang completely straight, especially at the bottom. It'll coil a little bit. So I just kind of reposition a little bit. And if I'm wearing it casually, it'll lay like it should. And also, if I don't even touch it all and move around a little bit more, it'll naturally lay flat again. It's not an issue that I've ever noticed personally until people became really strict about, does it hang straight? There's a coil in it. And then it became a thing. I personally don't think it should prevent you from buying a link chain. I think if you are very strict and you want a Miami Cuban link that is paper like an arrow down hanging straight, then you got to go the route you got to go. But for a chain like the 5.5mm flat curve, to me, it doesn't really matter, and I'm just speaking from a personal testimony. That is why I back this chain so much, because I love it. It's done so much for me and my passion and wearing jewelry that it never folds really, and if it does, naturally it just does, because usually it goes when you're moving it, because you have this separation. Wearing a hoodie or a shirt like that, you have this void, so when you move, the clasp from back kind of moves. Because it is a lighter chain, relatively speaking, it'll twist, but over time, it kind of just fixes itself and corrects itself. So it's not a big issue. So try that tip. Make sure you go straight down, bring the opposite end, hold it with your finger, and then bring it up and clasp it on your neck like that. It can kind of get confusing or twisted towards the end, so make sure you're doing it carefully. Over time, you'll get a hang of it where it's not a big issue. But if you're rushing like I usually do, I just kind of throw the chain on and it'll kind of kink more or roll like than it should. So try that quick tip to prevent or help your chain from laying better if you got a link chain on your neck. Let me know if that helps. That's it for today's video, and we'll see you on the next jewelry video.